We back. We are back. We are back. Welcome to another great episode of the JCA Sports Podcast here on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. We're on all those social media platforms, guys. Make sure you also follow us on all our social media platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, and also on the TikTok. Finally, not by myself today. Look who's here today. What's up, Johnny?
What's going on, brother? How you doing?
I'm just here, excited. And also, just feeling a little indifferent. I just finished watching Secret Invasion, the second episode that came out today, and
no
it's just
spoilers, no spoilers. I only caught 20 minutes. That's it, and then
it gets pretty interesting. I can tell you that much. But yeah, I ended up seeing it before coming to the show. That's why we were on a little late. Thank God we're not on the radio because we would have gotten fired by now. Thank God this is just a podcast, and we could just be around the same time at 7:00. But guys, make sure you follow us, like I said, on all our social media platforms. We have a great show for you guys today. Johnny is back. And if you guys want to join us on our show, I will drop the links right now. Give me a second as I do so. Dropping the links so you guys can come in at any time to talk about what we have in store for today. Johnny, what's new, man? I haven't seen you in a while, bro. How you been?
We good, brother. Good, work, vacation, back to work. It's been decent, man. I'm like on an emotional roller coaster because of my White Sox. But what else is new?
Yeah. We're gonna talk about them a little later. See how you feel. Like you said, emotional roller coaster ride, and I want to see where you're at. I know we had kind of a good discussion the last time that we're on about where we're gonna be at by this time, and this time is right here now, Johnny. And we want to know. Give us your honest opinion. As you guys see, our link is on here for you guys to join too as well. We got a little bit of Cubs talk too. Bulls and the Bears. See, a lot of weird news are coming up, but I didn't know about the Chicago Bears, what they were available for what the upcoming season. That's gonna be exciting. But let's start with the breaking news today. Johnny Blasphemy, you put it up on there. Vooch re-signed for the Chicago Bulls, 3 years, $60 million. Do you like it?
Seeing as what's out there, I don't mind it. I am pretty happy. Vooch, and I was one to critique Vooch, like year one we got him, whatever, for the couple months, and then the following year, I feel like he fell off. But last year was his best year in the Bulls uniform so far, so I am happy for it compared to the very inconsistent we get from our other stars. Zach LaVine, you don't know when he's going to show up. DeRozan, who used to be, our go-to guy, number one guy, he had some bad games last year, but Vooch seemed like, you could lock him in for a double-double, Johnny Parlay, always. So I'm happy for it. I mean, because other than that, like, realistically, we know the Bulls. If y'all let Vooch walk, he's going to go to a good team, going to do solid, and we're not going to do nothing to replace it, So
no, I hear
you.
Again, I think I was one of the
deal's team friendly. Sorry. The deal
is
team
you're
friendly.
right.
I feel like.
Yeah, it's weird, right? I think it's a mixed feeling simply because of what we gave up for Vucevic, Johnny. I think that's what it is. Like how many first rounds we gave up, the players that we gave up for him, that ended up being for the Orlando Magic. The Bulls are not getting a first round pick because of it this year too as well, being a protected top four. And it just felt like the Bulls, to me, in my opinion, the Bulls were forced at least, or they just felt like they had no choice but to re-sign Vucevic for what they gave up for him. You know what I mean? And it just felt, even though they said all like the Bulls, and Vooch felt mutually about resigning and him coming back, and that's all fine and dandy and all. But you're right. It took them 3 years to finally have a good season with the Chicago Bulls this year. Like you said, double machine. Like you said, it was just it just didn't fit. Like there's always a lot to critique and to give him the bad backlash because of what he can and cannot do. Obviously, he's a shooting three, which a shooting five from three. I don't see it. I don't think he's that consistently good enough. He does give you double doubles. I'll give you that. He was this season the most consistent player out of the Bulls, playing wise, night in and night out. So I can see where it is. It's just I just felt like the Bulls had no choice but to bring back Vooch because I think they would have gotten a lot of melee, a lot of back talk, a lot of smack talk
Mm-hmm.
about them
Mm-hmm.
giving up all those picks and then him just walking out for the free out the door.
Absolutely, but Eric, just to piggyback off what you're saying, it does feel like we were forced to because of what we gave up for him. Because I mean, let's be honest, as Bulls fans, we let him walk. We're gonna be pissed because we're gonna evaluate that trade we did for him. But also, we also said it felt the same way with Zach LaVine, like we were forced to do this. But it
No,
doesn't give us such a bad taste in your mouth versus compared to the Zach LaVine trade or the Zach LaVine contract they gave him. You know what I mean? Like there was a lot of people up in the air, pissed off, wanting to let Zach walk, don't give him the contract extension. But once it happened, it was kind of like most of us that were happy, we were also like, well, who else are you gonna get? What else are you gonna do? You had to you had to resign him, and that's the same way with Vooch. It's like you had to resign him, and I mean, it's sad to say this because I expected more, but right now Vooch is still better than Pat Williams. So we need Vooch on this roster. We need Vooch in the starting lineup.
yeah, I I get where you're coming from, right? And that's completely understandable where you're coming from. That the Bulls need Nikola Vucevic. That the Bulls are in desperate need in getting Vooch, right, or keeping Vooch.
Yeah, bringing him back.
Is there right? Bringing him back. You're right. Is there was there is there a better option out there in free agency than Vooch? No, right?
No,
So see,
you
this is
had
why
no
I feel very
choice. You had
indifferent
no
because I
choice.
don't think he makes you better. Certainly, I mean, he makes you. To me, in my eyes, he makes you a little bit worse, and he does make you a little bit better.
No, no,
He doesn't
the
move the
Bulls are worse
needle.
without him.
I I mean, you're right. I mean, we're. See,
Like,
it's different. It's difficult.
just
It's
take him
difficult
out
because
and don't add
you
nobody to
can't.
replace him.
Right, I don't, John. I don't think you can evaluate Vooch so much because in reality, I think all you're really missing is just the defensive rebounds and the offensive points, the consistent double doubles from Vucevic. But other than that, I mean, he doesn't even move the needle for him to be a contender in the East, knowing damn well that I mean he'll sporadically, you know, create his own shot here and there.
It's because of like it's because you got to look at the talent of the East, man, and it's not just you know like Vooch is gonna get bodied by Giannis, bodied by Embiid. Um, you know, we ever fucking make it to a finals, anybody's gonna body Vooch whoever we meet, whether it be somebody like Jokic, Anthony Davis. A healthy AD will own Vooch. But realistically, like you mentioned, there's nobody out there. Like I'm looking at it, we're not gonna go fucking sign Kevin Love. Um,
He's staying in Miami
yeah, if he does, but you know what
if
I'm
he does,
saying? Like
right? But he will
looking at
go
the
to a team that's
free
ready to
agent
contend.
market, yeah, free agent market to replace Vooch. But the sad thing is though, if you let Vooch walk, he's gonna go to a contender and do good because he's gonna have a better roster. Like I keep saying it over and over. Zach LaVine and DeRozan they're B-list stars, and Vooch is probably like honestly a C plus B minus. So I get what you mean where he doesn't move the needle at all, but without him, you only got two Bs. You got two Robins, two Robins,
Technically.
and none of them want to become Nightwing.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I guess if we keep that superhero theme that we talked about earlier, yeah. I mean, you're right, and it's weird. And our boy Zay, what's up, man? He's saying, "Yo, what's going on?" And he's right. He says the Bulls aren't contenders, but we're not one of the worst teams in the East. I have no clue what they're trying to accomplish. As a fan, is sad. You're absolutely right. As a fan, like you and I and all of us, it is sad because right, we don't know what they're doing. We don't know what their moves are. They were really hoping that the lottery pick falls to them so they could either A, pick a player that they really need, or B, trade that player to get something in return, or to get a player maybe like a Damian Lillard for that number one pick, like, hey, top four if he wants to get traded or so on, or something like that along those lines, right? I know it's not going to happen, right? You just wishful thinking here. But also at the same time, it's one of those situations to where it's right. It doesn't move the needle. The team is worse with or without him. And to be honest, it doesn't. They're not good with or without him. You're right. They're not one of the bad teams in the East, but they're also not one of the good teams in the East either. You know.
I mean, yeah. What is it? I guess you could say we're solidified for a playing game, if
If
that,
if
at
that,
best.
right? Because we
At
struggle
best,
even to get into a playing game
yeah,
this
we
year.
struggled bad. We struggled bad. But with the contract they gave Vooch, I feel like maybe I'm a little hopeful, but we can still go get somebody like Van Fleet.
And even then, John, maybe this is just me of how badly the season was for me, or
Yeah.
for at least in my perspective, in my eyes, for the Chicago Bulls this year and the way how it ended. I think even getting Fred VanVleet, I know Patrick Bev kind of switched things up a little bit for the Bulls and kind of fill in the void what they needed in that point guard position. But also at the same time, it's just what does Fred VanVleet give you in return? You know what I mean? Like,
Hey. All I'm saying is when the Bulls had a healthy point guard, Lonzo Ball, we were the first seed. We were making noise. Realistically, we're not going to sign with Westbrook. We're damn sure not going to pay my boy Kyrie, regardless of all his on the court, off the court drama. That man could ball, you know. But we're damn sure not going to pay him. So that's why I dropped all the way down to Van Fleet, because that's like a realistic another B lister that the Bulls can go get.
And that's a sad point to say, because you're saying B-lister like if we're like a mid-market team, you know, like a B-lister coming to like Oklahoma is like a good thing.
We're gonna be the Teen Titans trying to go up against these Justice League ass Avenger teams. But it's how it is.
I mean, you're right. It is, and this is what AK and Mark Eversley just put themselves into with this trading for Vooch years ago, giving up Wendell Carter Jr. And I think it was who did they use in those picks? Wagner, and then whoever that they're going to get, or whoever they got actually last week for that number 4 pick. Again, it's that situation that they put themselves into, like what they gave us, and how consistently bad they've been playing within the last year and a half now since Lonzo's injury.
Since Lonzo's injury, year and a half, yeah.
And so it's just one of those situations to where it's just like it's just to me in my eyes, right? This person that I am today about the Chicago Bulls, I feel like it's a lot more easier now to trade away the Zachs and the DeMar DeRozans and whoever else you can get. Start from scratch and then see what you can build. That way, you could give Mark Eversley and AK a little bit more time, because I feel like if this doesn't progress, or this doesn't get any better, bringing back the same roster that didn't really accomplish anything, like you said, if they're a point guard away, and I feel like that's the same excuse until maybe we finally get somewhat of a legitimate point guard. Maybe that may change the perspective of this team, but until then, it's a lot more easier to trade and start over than trying to retool this team that seems to be far more broken for beyond repair.
No, I absolutely agree. We can only retool so many times. And it's like, if you're bringing back the same exact guys, it's not technically a retool. It's not. You're running it back. But, like I said, the Bulls with the healthy Lonzo Ball, a healthy, reliable point guard, they made some noise. So it's like that's a slight glimmer of hope that we have going into this season. If we can get a point guard, because Kobe White's not that guy. He's not that guy.
Nah, he's too much of a shooting guard and a point guard body.
Lonzo may never play again, which is very unfortunate. You don't wish that on any athlete. It's horrible, regardless of what level you play in. But I think that's it. They need to get a point guard this year, and if not, then hey, next summer we blow it up.
Nah, I don't even think it lasts the summer. If we still get the same consistent play by the trade deadline, I think by the trade deadline we'll probably get the answer before anything, because at this point, let's just say if the Bulls are as bad as they were last year, right?
Mhm.
If the Bulls were as bad as last year, I don't think that AK Mark Eversley would last till next summer
But they still
if the
made the
squad
playoffs.
still holds intact.
To them, I mean, compared to what the Bulls have been for in our lifetime, that that's a success. You make the playoffs, that's a success for them.
And that's sad to say, right?
It is sad. Look at the Bulls we're used to. But Eric, my quick question to you is, what do you see happening? What's more likely to happen first? Bulls fire the coach or Bulls blow it up?
Bulls.
And by blow it up, I mean Zach LaVine gets traded. Zach LaVine or DeRozan, gone.
I want to say the Bulls blow it up. I want to say Billy Donovan's job,
It's safe.
as hot as it can be, is right, as hot as it is, as toasty as it is at the moment, right, with this team. I still feel like the success that Billy Donovan had in Oklahoma once Kevin Durant and James Harden and Russell Westbrook moved, and him still having somewhat success when he even had Chris Paul as a point guard going into the playoffs and whatnot. I think that has more caliber than what the players have been giving him so far, because Zach LaVine in 6-7 years that he's been here really hasn't done anything with the Chicago Bulls other than pat his own stats. And the time that the players came in, yes, they looked great for a while up until Lonzo's Ball injury. And that's the only glimmer of hope that we have for this Chicago Bulls team. But with that being said, I still feel like the team is more inclined to blowing it up than to fire Billy Donovan.
I agree. Because what you said about OKC, I mean, they literally went on a rebuild. So he's proven he can do a rebuild. And
he could prove he could coach.
he can coach. He can do a rebuild. I mean, we may not be contenders, but we're relevant. You know, we pull off some upsets. He makes some playoff appearances. So that's why I feel like he's earned a rebuild here if that's where the Bulls' future is going towards.
I mean, hey, look, he's one of the, and I say rare, right? I'm using this term
Yeah, you're right.
loosely, but he's a rare he's one of the rare ones because he's actually a head coach with coaching experience that came in. The Bulls has never done that ever since Phil, right? I mean, Billy Del Negro, Fred Hoiberg, Tom Thibodeau. Who else am I missing along
Fred
along
Hoiberg
those
was
lines?
a disaster, bro.
Right.
Jimmy Butler almost made him cry every single day.
Exactly. Again, like the Bulls are notorious for first-time head coaches. That this was a rarity, bringing in a head coach with experience who's like in the middle. Like he's, he's old school but kind of new school at the same time. Like he's right dab in the middle, and he's not that old either. So it's kind of like you give him a decent roster where nobody wants to fight or do this or egos are involved. And I know you're going to have some superstars that have egos, and I get that. But I feel like Billy Donovan can really coach up a team and have future success. And I believe like his job is more safe than the Bulls staying intact, which is
I
weird
agree.
to say.
I agree because look at all the noise we heard during the trade deadline about Zach. We just gave this man a max contract, and there is noise about trading him. There's already teams calling for him, and realistically, I mean, I know you're not on a Zach fan train, you're not on the wagon, but
Hell no.
there's a lot of people that would be happy to get rid of that contract.
Oh, I'm one of them. Trust me, I'm on that. I'm on board with that one because again, same. We've seen Zach. It's good to be the best player on a bad team, and you could tell when good players come around.
Speaking from
he's
personal experience, yeah, it is.
exactly. It's just weird. The JCA Sports Podcast here with John DePlaio. He's back with us here on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. Guys, make sure you follow us on all our social media platforms, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, on Twitch, and on Instagram. As we're talking about the Chicago Bulls, them re-signing Nikola Vucevic for 3 years, $60 million. We want to know if that's a good signing or not. Well, for you guys, we want to know what you guys think. John and I, but I mean, by default, John says it's a good signing. By default, I'm saying it's a good signing too as well. Or I'm in between, really, in all honesty, because I don't know what the Chicago Bulls team really is, and I don't think anybody has it. I honestly believe, even hearing the press conferences in the last couple of days between with Mark Eversley, I mean not Mark Eversley, Arturas Karshinovis, is like I don't think he knows what he's going to do or what he needs to do to fix this team, because it's a lot of work, and that contract it does hinder the Bulls. The contract that they gave DeMar DeRozan, who's also up for a max contract after this upcoming season, It's weird because now he's in a situation like, how do I fix this team? Like Fred VanVleet, like you just said, he's one that could fix it, but it really, again, doesn't really put him in contenders for the East to be anything special. So it's like even he doesn't know, and that's the sad part about it, John. That here in his press conference, he looks like a man that sounds demoralized.
Yeah.
And his decision making, that what he has to do to fix this Bulls team.
I honestly think it's because of the Lonzo. Like nobody expected that to happen. Like you're talking about this dude isn't coming back at all, and like this is your point guard. This is your
Matter of fact, I think that was his first signing too, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was the big splash he made, and they're like, okay. And I'm gonna be honest, I've never been on the Lonzo bandwagon, but he stepped it up when he put on that Bulls uniform. Like realistically, that's been his best games, in Bulls uniform in his career. Like he was playing good, and I feel like it does have to do with Billy Donovan and the team around him. Why he had so much success and was that guy. Like realistically, like Lonzo was playing like an all-star here, and it's like you lose that guy, and then we're back to backup point guards and trying to switch up these lineups, and here we are again. Like there's some legit talent out there in the free agency, but us being the Bulls, we already know there's no chance to sign those guys. So who's the next in line? And side note, I keep seeing reports about they're trying to Bulls maybe linked to Kyle Lowry. Hell no, bro. Keep him away. Keep him away. I don't care if him and DeRozan are cool. That's not gonna work out. It's gonna be it's another typical Jerry signing, bro. There's a reason that the Bulls and the Sox have all of this stuff in common, and it's because of the ownership, bro. We say this all the time, but it's like, please, for the love of God, don't bring Kyle Lowry over here. We don't need him. Let him run it back with Miami. That's cool. He has some big moments in the playoffs and the finals. That's cool, bro. Go back over there. Don't come over here.
I mean, it fits, right? I mean, he fits in that system over there in Miami. I mean, they went to the NBA Finals for no reason, and it's weird to think. And I said this the last show that I had when the Nuggets won the title. I did say that the Bulls were 7 minutes away from eliminating the Miami Heat in the play-in game.
They were. That's crazy, bro. We were beating them. Okay, I'm gonna be that guy right now. I know we got to talk baseball.
I'll give it to you.
Be that guy, Eric. If the Bulls didn't re-sign Vooch and Miami picked them up, do they go back to the finals?
I believe so, because Vooch can actually play that role a little bit more better. You really, Kevin Love, I don't know if his status is a free agent or not
he's a free agent.
He's a free agent. I think he fills in that Kevin Love role a little bit better. I think he gives you a little bit more defensive rebounds than anything. So, and he's a little bit more active than what Kevin Love can or will be on the floor, on the defensive side of the board, for just getting the rebounds. Kind of marry the same player, sort of, kind of in a way. So it's kind of like he just slides in perfectly in that role.
Because he's a younger
maybe
version.
If they do end up keeping Bam, or them having Bam there, you could do what you wanted here in the first place. Him at the 4.
No, I really think Miami's going to run it back with the same roster because they didn't have Tyler Hero at all this playoffs. So that's going to be their,
and that was a difference.
Back.
Yeah, and yet we're going to talk about this, and where the Heat going to be as contenders for the East, probably 4th or 5th, maybe even 6th.
Who did we trade Jimmy Butler for? Max LaVine.
Zach LaVine.
It's Max LaVine, all right? Max LaVine, get it right.
Yeah, Zach LaVine, Chris Dunn.
Yeah.
And the rights for the trade of Lauri Markkanen.
Look at now. Meanwhile, Jimmy's taking the team to 2 finals. He's lost. He's lost, but hey, I'll take a finals appearance, a championship appearance, Super Bowl appearance. I'll take all that and lose versus never going.
Yeah, for real. And then not only that, and then in that trade you lose 2 out of the 3 players on top of that, and then one of the players are actually flourishing out in Utah, and actually flourished the moment he left here in Chicago.
Yep, he was an all-star, wasn't he?
It's just crazy. Oh, look at this had to show up on the program.
What's up,
CP? What's good, CP? My guy, CP
JCA.
Here with us, guys. And like CP, you could join us too and talk any conversation where we're talking about the Chicago Bulls. We were gonna switch up the segment a little bit, but John kind of extended a little bit, which is great, which is fine because we want to know what you guys.
This Dame.
re-signing Vooch
can the
is
Bulls
re-signing
go
Vooch
for
a good
Dame?
thing for the Chicago Bulls? Was there a clear no choice, or it really doesn't move the needle left and right, depending what you guys think? CP, what do you think, man? Is re-signing re-signing Vooch a good sign for the Bulls?
Yeah, it's not a good thing, but it's not a bad thing either. It's more of a like,
He said,
I mean, if you didn't, what you were gonna, like I said, the trade deadline passed and we didn't make a move for him. So what, you're gonna lose him
Yep.
for nothing? Um, the market for Vooch, I heard, was actually rather short anyway. Like he probably wasn't gonna
I
find a
was.
better situation where he was like gonna start and get like real good minutes. So I kind of understood why he went back to Chicago on his part. In Chicago, like, I mean, that's basically the same deal he had before. What they say, 3 years, 60 million.
Yes, sir.
So it's the same thing as before. Vooch is going to keep doing what he was doing. Chicago, like, it doesn't move the needle at all. Like, um, we don't have any cap space. That's the sad part about this. Like, we can't even really make a move to get like a Brook Lopez or a Bruce Brown or something like that. We're essentially going to be stuck with the same roster. It's probably going to be another play-in year, and the Bulls pretty much did what they had to do. All they can do: bring back Dusumu, bring back Vooch, pretty much bring back all their players. Because like I said, Eric, you say it all the time. We're essentially in purgatory right now. We're stuck. Like
Basketball hell.
basketball hill. Like there's not much we can do. So, I mean, it would have been stupid to lose Vooch. And how the NBA like cap works is, if you lose Vooch, you don't get that cap space back. Like you're still gonna be pressed for it. So it's like they didn't have a choice but to bring him back. They really didn't.
Yeah, as I said, we didn't have a choice.
Yeah, they really didn't. I mean, it's just sad to say, like that's their that's the feel around us as Chicago Bulls fans. Is like, they're like,
CP,
damn,
real
well, they didn't
quick.
have a choice but to resign him, and it's just like, who else is out there?
Right. And that's what I'm saying. CP, real quick. I don't know if you heard me earlier. But I was telling Eric, it's kind of a trend with the Bulls. Like, we had no choice but to re-sign these guys, and we had that with Zach LaVine last year.
Yeah.
Does it give a sour taste this time around, or do you feel like it's a little easier because of the deal we got? I mean, as far as how much they're giving them versus like all giving Zach the max, is a little easier. Is it an easier pill to swallow that we were forced to this?
I mean, yeah. I mean, Vooch is a pretty reliable double guy and a center that can shoot the three like he can. Remember, he's an all-star guy, so getting an all-star for 60 million these days, that's
He's an
that's a
all-star, Billy.
yeah. Like, I mean, in the right situation, he's an all-star. Like, obviously, he's not going to be an all-star playing with Levine and DeMar and all of them, but like,
It depends which Levine and DeMar show up, right? You might.
you think Vooch could outpush them for an all-star bid? Like,
Hell
we know
no.
Levine is going to push for an all-star bid, and we know DeMar is going to
No.
push for
Hey,
one.
hold on. Levine pushes for an all-star after the all-star game already passed. Then that's when he shows up, starts dropping 40 a night.
Yeah, I ain't seen him push for an all-star since before the contract. That was the last time I seen him push an all-star level. But
This
yeah,
is true.
it's just one of those things we really had to do. And like, I mean, 60 million for someone like Vooch, that, like I said, it's a bargain. I mean, you still got Tobias Harris is still getting 38 million. So
Tobias Harris over me?
Hey, it is what it is.
You're right. Yeah, man, it's just a very bad, sad situation where the Chicago Bulls are at. And like you said, I've been saying it for a while. But after they gave that contract to Zach LaVine, that the Bulls are going to be in basketball hell. And look where they're at right now. We're not happy, and I don't think we're even sad about the Bulls re-signing Vooch. We're just like, meh.
Eric, but I mean, I don't mean to be that guy. Keep bringing up the point
Yeah, you do.
curse we got, but I feel like we'd all be happier as Bulls fans if we had a healthy point guard, a healthy Lonzo Ball.
Derrick Rose is coming back.
D Rose, my boy.
Oh my God.
It's too late though. But see, that's what I'm saying though. Like if they respectfully, y'all know I ride or die for D Rose. I love D Rose. But if we come back with Kobe White and D Rose as our only point guards, that's a disaster, bro. That's a disaster. What are we doing?
I don't even look at D Rose as a point guard no more. Not really. He's just more of a combo two guard at this point.
He's just more of a god at this point.
Basically,
he's just more of a guy up there.
He's just that
God.
person we love but don't want to hang out with no more. You know, that cousin that
No
you like.
bullshit. I'm gonna hang out with him. The fuck, he invited to every cookout, the baptisms.
You know what I mean? To actually play on your team, like.
It's
Hell
just
nah.
like, all right, man. We
Hey,
need the body. Come on.
I love D Rose, so
Just life.
I'm picking D Rose, but he's my last pick.
Oh my god. Still an
Now
insult.
Eric said we need the body.
That's still kind of bad in the
That's
situation
still
I
an
was.
insult, John, but okay.
It is, but that's just. I mean, that's what D Rose is at this point in his career. Like, we love the man. We respect him because it's very unfortunate the injuries he had. We love him for what he's done, but it's like, there's a reason the Knicks were playing him. But every time he got like the last 40 seconds in the game to play, that crowd stood up and clapped for him. That's the love we got for D Rose.
And I just feel it's only like that because of what he meant here to Chicago, right? I mean, obviously that's the
Yeah.
simple answer, right?
Okay,
Yes,
but then
literally
why
all
does New York love him? Why does New York love him?
The story, I guess you can say. I mean, you can't hate the guy. What he did when he first started, everybody. I'm talking about the globe fell in love with Derrick Rose because of what he represented. A dude from Chicago playing in his hometown city, dude who's like almost our height. Let's be honest, except for John. John's like closer to his ankles than anything,
Yeah,
but closer to my height, our height.
Hey, I actually stood next to him, right? He played at my high school, right? I'm at his like chest.
Nah, John, that's giving yourself too much credit on your height, bro. Anyways, it just and the way how the dude just jumped, the way how he played, the acrobatic moves that he was doing, like everybody fell in love with that with D Rose because that man could do anything. Yep. Him becoming the youngest MVP, you could put all of that. Him taking the Bulls to the playoffs.
The youngest MVP?
The youngest MVP, right. Everybody fell in love with Derrick Rose, and at the moment that he went down, the moment he tore his ACL, for us in Chicago, it was more than a gut punch, right? To the NBA world, it was more like, damn, there goes D Rose, blah blah. Oh, look, he came back. Well, we were more critical of him than the rest of the United States and the rest of the basketball world was, right? Absolutely. So that's why when he went to Minnesota, he dropped. What did he drop? A 50?
He dropped the 50 piece.
He dropped the 50, and everybody fell in love with him. It's the story that Derrick Rose, of the guy who tore his ACL, who tore his MCL, who had like multiple surgeries, who's battling injuries, came back, it's still bald, had this story going, getting traded from his hometown to another team, dropping 50, and everywhere he goes, they love him. And even when he comes to Chicago, people still love him because they still chant MVP when he comes and plays against the Bulls.
He got PJ mean mugging him every time he wake up and get out of bed, like, sick of looking at you, Dad. You just a broken down old man.
Damn. But in a way, it's right though. Like in a way, that's how it is. People just fell in love with the Derrick Rose story and pretty much the storyline of Derrick Rose on what he represented for the ones that knew and saw Derrick Rose growing up, which is people in our time.
Was that you that said that we're cursed, Eric, with the point guards, with the knees and stuff?
Yes.
LaVine, Rose, Ball.
We are cursed.
Even Jay Will. Remember Jay Will? Once upon a time he was there, but that was a motorcycle accident. But still with his legs.
Someone did some voodoo on Jerry, so we're cursed. At the point.
I mean,
that's why I heard
okay with Kirk Heinrich, though, right? No.
Captain Kirk. He was a guy that had heart, but he wasn't no all-star. I mean, what did he?
Right.
I mean, realistically,
Mr. Consistency.
Realistically, would he be a point guard on a championship team elsewhere? No.
He was at Kansas. No, I'm not going there. No, I'm alone. No. I'm alone. All right, I'll be alone on that one. I'll be alone on that one. But I mean, hey, he's the Bulls all-time, played record guy. I think it was like most games played for the Chicago Bulls in the uniform, most assists. I mean, it counts for something. I mean, he's a point guard that stayed healthy up until the tail end of his career. No, I'm alone.
You're alone, bro.
I'm alone. All right. Moving on here on the JCA Sports Podcast. Moving on to baseball, guys, and let's start off with the White Sox, guys. 34-47, 5.5 games back of the Minnesota Twins in the AL Central, but things look more bleak than they do. A lot more positive, right? 5.5 games still seems very small where they can still contend.
Yep.
But
Yep.
is it 5.5 games to where it's like, uh, meh? Like you look at the 5.5 you look at the 5.5 games as a positive note, or you look at the fact that there are 13 games under 500. What side are you guys on this one? Let's go. Let's go with CP. CP first. Where are you at? How do you feel? Are you more optimistic or pessimistic about the Chicago White Sox?
Definitely pessimistic. Like, how am I supposed to be happy because they're in the worst division in baseball? Like, since that 7-20 start, like we've just essentially been playing 500 baseball. Just like so, basically, if you think about it, if they just played 500 baseball, if they didn't get off to that horrible start and they played 500 baseball to this point, they would lead the division. That's how bad it is. The Twins are 2 games under 500, and so are the Guardians, and they lead the division. The fact that the White Sox are 13 games under and there's only 5.5 out tells you everything you need to know about this damn division. But it also tells you just how bad the White Sox have been. Like they'll put together a few games where it's like, okay, I like what I'm seeing here. You win like 2, 3 straight, and then you lose like 5 straight. Like,
Yep.
and a lot of these games be so, and that's the frustrating part about it. So many of these games be winnable, and we lose them on like random errors or something, or just throwing a baseball over into the crowd, and somebody scores a game-winning run, and we lose like 2-1 or something. Like it's just like,
Or your fucking coach, your manager putting in subs in the 7th inning.
oh my god. Just like it's like we're hurting ourselves. Nobody's. It's not just like teams are just beating our ass badly. We are just like doing it to ourselves, and that's the most frustrating part about it. Is that like
Yeah.
they can be much better. The only bright spot has been how great Luis Robert has been. Like
Oof.
if you go to a White Sox game, you're there to watch him. Literally, that's the only thing you're going for. So it's like it's frustrating, man. Like I don't got no reason to be optimistic about the team. Put together at least 4 or 5 straight wins for me. Win 2, 3 straight series, and then we can talk. Because then you'll be right there for the lead. Like, it don't take much to win this division.
John, are you the 13 games under 500, or are you more of the 5.5 games back in the division? Are you optimistic or pessimistic?
I am optimistic because our I know what you guys are saying. Worst worst division in baseball. We are only 5.5, but I am optimistic because of our pitching. Our pitching has tremendously turned around. Lance Lynn, who at one point, man, like people were going in on Lance Lynn. Like, they don't want him on the team no more. Look at Twitter.
He's finna get that Dallas Keuchel treatment.
I swear to God, he was on his way for that Dallas treatment. You know, talking about eat a salad. You know, they were on his ass for real. They were on his ass. Then they were on Lucas's ass too. Cease wasn't being an ace no more. They were on his ass. You know, rightfully so. But now we finally have our pitching coming back, and as far as production offensively, it's been the same story, man. We got a bunch of nobodies filling in because our main guys are injured. When our core is healthy, only 1 or 2 guys show up. All 5 or 6 don't show up. Yasmani Grandal can't even bat his weight yet, but yet Zavala's good defensively but can't bat. We still have infielders playing in the outfield, which is very frustrating. Our best batting average is the guy we just signed, which is Andrew Benintendi, and it's like, okay, like that was props because you finally went and got an outfielder to play your everyday outfield position. Luis Robert, love the man, probably our only all-star, but
definitely our only all-star.
I think I seen Cease and Dallas are like ranked 6 and 7 or 5 and 6 on AL strikeout leaders, which is pretty amazing considering like how bad they.
You mean Lance, right?
As I said, Lynn and Cease, they're back to back.
You said Dallas.
You said Dallas.
I said Dallas.
You
put Dallas.
You
in
said
my head.
Dallas. That's what I'm
like. You put Dallas in my head. You put Dallas in my bad. No, but yeah, Lance Lynn and Dylan Cease are back to back in AL strikeouts, which is great. And
ERA is still too high though.
I mean, but it's going down. I mean, especially nowadays, you got starters getting pulled in the 6th inning. But, like, we just wasted a good outing from Cease the other day. We're probably going to waste a good outing from Giolito today, Giolito has been performing better since they announced they're not going to re-sign him. literally.
That is true. That is true.
But I just feel like, I mean, I'm a little biased because because I'm a pitcher myself, but I think pitching is more important than offense as far as like long term. Unless you got like some fucking dogs of an offense, but you can get away with only scoring a few runs if your pitching is locked in. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, we just been getting dogged by Otani this series, but today
Everybody's been getting dogged by Otani.
exactly.
I was about to say there's no. It's not. That's
You
nothing
can't
new.
feel bad, but it feels good to see that Cease, pitched good against the Angels because the Angels have been hot. Looking at our last games, I mean, like you said, CP, we're in it, and then we just lose. Like we have a couple games, like a 4-5 loss to the Dodgers, 2-3 loss to Seattle.
Had the lead in all those games.
Yep, 1-3 loss to Boston. We won the series against Boston. We won the series against New York. We swept Detroit this month. Like those are legit signs, and then we go and lose the series against Dodgers, Seattle, Texas. We'll see if we can.
The good teams. The good teams.
The good teams, but respectfully, the Yankees and the Red Sox are in the best division.
Right.
So those are good signs. But as far as the other teams, like CP said, we're in it, man. We're in it against Miami. We're in it against Seattle. We're in it against the Angels. And it's like, and then we just lose it. Because why? Because our bullpen still sucks and our offense still sucks.
I gotta find a stat to see if the White Sox are at the top of the league in like 1-run losses or something like that. I bet we got to be near the top of the league in that.
But as far as I did see the other day when watching the game, they were saying like the Sox pitching in like the last like month and a half has been the best.
Yeah, and but like remember 2 years ago we were talking about Tim Anderson as damn near the best shortstop in baseball, and now he's batting .232 with no home runs.
You know what? It's true, but and that's I thought Eric was gonna bring it up, but whatever. We're here now. Do you blame TA's regression because of injury or because of the drama in his personal life? Because they're both real shit. They're both real shit, but what's more to blame? I
would say both probably. Like not everybody.
Valid. I feel like that's a valid excuse for a player. Is it not?
Yeah, but
I mean, but is it enough where you see the Sox give up on TA and trade him?
Oh, absolutely not. No, he's still really young. How old is Tim Anderson? He's like 20.
No, he's 30.
Say 25,
he hits 30.
Oh, right. He is 30 now. I was about to say 28, 29, but yeah, he just turned 30. But I don't know, like it just.
Fun fact: he went 0-4 on his birthday. I know because I bet on him to get a hit that day.
Yikes!
But no, man, I just feel like there is optimism. The Sox, I think with if your pitchers lock in, that can carry over to your offense. Instead of your offense constantly bailing you out.
Yeah, because it's not like you're getting blown out or anything.
Right,
you're
not getting
all
blown
these
out.
games.
And knowing the owner we have, which is the same as the team we just discussed, the Bulls, we're not going to blow it up, but we're also not going to be heavy buyers, which is very unfortunate because I feel like we need to be heavy buyers right now. If not, the court needs to get blown up in the off season. But I do feel like we need to buy an outfielder. We need to buy a fucking. Can we get a second baseman, please? Get a reliever. I mean, I appreciate.
When was the last time we had a reliable second baseman?
Bro, since Nicky Two Strikes, and we traded him for Craig Kimball's bum ass.
Oh my god, y'all don't even be using him.
He's doing just fine here at third, and with the up on the north side. By the way,
he's finally doing good. He was shit the first month.
He was.
But no, man, the Sox, they need to finish strong. Coming into the All-Star break, and we need to make some moves during the trade deadline. We absolutely have
to. Players to put at the back of that lineup because, like, putting Zavila back there.
Yeah, Zavala. No.
Yeah,
but
it's not working.
But like I told Eric, if we run it back with the same exact team, just like the Bulls do, because of the ownership. Is it? Because of greedy ass motherfuckers. Greedy ass Jerry. It's not even motherfuckers. It's one motherfucker.
Greedy as Jerry. Is that where you're gonna go with? Just greedy as
Yeah,
Jerry?
greedy ass Jerry. Greedy ass Jerry. That's gonna be our new hashtag on the show. Greedy ass Jerry.
All right. So what's the question that you guys, or what's the answer, or what is the question to the answer you guys want? How many wins? What's their one run win record?
One
One,
run loss.
yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, you guys are not gonna like
That's
this.
tough. No. No, I'm looking at the schedule and it's a couple 2 runs, three
There is a
runs
lot.
teams,
I'm
but
on baseballreference.com.
we're itching.
Guys, the White Sox have probably only won. They probably only won 2 games and 1 run games and lost 17.
2-17.
That's disgusting.
You telling me 2 is?
That's disgusting. That hurts.
We could be 51-45 right now
Yeah.
if we would just have some consistency at the end of these games, and that's the frustrating part about this.
That's terrible. That's
Oh, sorry, 4-13. Sorry, my bad. Wrong team.
that's still bad.
That's still bad.
I still gave you. I mean, I gave
We
you
would
guys.
still be a few games over 500 instead of 13 under. We would still be at least 4 games over.
Hey, I don't think you. I don't even think you guys want to know your win loss records when it's more than 2 runs. So
Oh, I know that's okay too because I'm looking at this schedule on the MLB
yeah.
app.
What is it?
Terrible.
I logged off at the page. It was bad. It was like 3 and like I think it was like 3 and double-digit losses or something like that. Like it was in the teens, but it was in the high teens. I think it's almost flirting 20s.
My chest. My chest.
It
All
was
right,
like
we can talk about
5.
your
It was like
discussion.
5 or 6 and like 19 or something or 20
All
something
right,
like
all
that.
right. Cool.
Lighten
Again,
the
I
mood.
exited out, so yeah.
Lighten the mood. Let's talk about the red and blue.
About
So
the
John,
4th of
I know
July?
one of the
Yeah.
questions I want to give you guys, right, was like this is my question. You said no, and you say you wanted them to buy, but in all reality, like where do you tinker with this team that, or what do you give for this
There,
team to buy players? Because obviously it's not
there.
going to be money. We
Yeah,
know
it has to
that's
be
not
money.
going to be the main focal point here is the money because Jerry won't give the money for the White Sox. So you have to dig. Excuse me. You have to dig into the farm system. But in the farm system, you guys are literally 4th to last in the
Yeah, I'm
farm
about to say,
system
what's
in
there?
baseball. So
I think our best
what?
player in the farm system is the second baseman right now.
Yeah,
I think he's
but
ranked
in
like
reality, though, like
11 or 12.
what would you give up to make your team better? Because
Uh,
you're mainly more on the side that you're closer to blowing it up than you are to contending. So in reality, like what would you give, and for
Right.
what player? Like that's the real question I'm trying to ask.
Mm, okay, realistically, to answer the question, Sox need to blow it up, right? I'm gonna say yes because I'm expecting the Sox to be, I'm gonna say 4 games out of first by the All-Star game. So you
That
tell
sounds
me a
about
team that's
realistic.
4 games out, they shouldn't blow it up. They should be buyers, right?
What
You
do
do
you
realize
give up?
that's like 2 weeks from now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah. 2 weeks from now.
yeah, we do. Yeah, it's 2 weeks. We can win tonight with Giolito. Tomorrow, who's on the bump? Whatever. I would say we split the series against the Angels. Oh, we got Lynn tomorrow. Back to back dubs, right?
Don't be so sure.
Shut the fuck up. Back to back dubs, and then we got Oakland, Toronto, and the Cardinals to finish
That's
up.
not guaranteed.
Like I said, we're 4 games out of first. Come the All-Star game.
John, that's only 1 game better than what you guys are right now.
That's fine. That's okay. But how do you feel if? How do you feel? Let's say you're a GM. Would you rather say you're 5 games out of first place, you're looking to shop, or would you rather say I'm 4 games out of first, I want to shop?
I mean, I'm with you there.
In
If
the
the
weakest
White
division.
Sox make that type of ground in 2 weeks before the trade deadline, then obviously, yeah, you try to shop and try to find a piece here and there.
CP, if we're talking about trade deadline, then that goes all the way to what, last week of July?
The last day of July.
We can get into 4 games by last game of July.
And if they don't, what happens if we're still 13 under?
If they don't, then Greedy Jerry gonna be Greedy Jerry. He ain't gonna do shit.
I think
He
hey,
ain't gonna do shit. He's not gonna sell
what?
because he's Jerry, bro.
I think
He's
he's more
Jerry.
inclined to sell. Honestly,
No, he's not. He's not because he has a scapegoat. He has Pedro as the first year manager. That's a scapegoat for this year.
What type of haul you think we could get for Luis Robert?
Wait, no, Luis Roberts untouchable. That's our franchise trade. I could see Tim Anderson being traded before Luis.
Hey,
That's a good one. I can see that too.
I mean, yeah, but
I mean, hey, we're just one phone call with the right amount, with the right number being thrown out there by the Dodgers to ship TA over there.
Why if they got Mookie Betts already?
Mookie Betts is playing second. They got Rojas at short. He ain't doing it. He ain't doing it. Exactly.
I guess, but you wouldn't take the Nationals route that they did when they traded Juan Soto.
No, bro, because look at the Nationals. What are they now? They suck. Yeah, their World Series that they won was like, okay, I'm gonna be that guy. It was like the Sox winning in 2005. It was magic in a bottle.
Magic. The White Sox were great that year.
They were great that year because everybody was on their shit. But when have you seen the pitching staff repeat that? When have you seen guys who are like no-name all-stars just stepping up, making the right hits, being clutch in the right moments? It doesn't get repeated again. When it happens, it's great because you love the team. The whole team, hey, don't touch our lineup. Don't trade nobody. Don't bring nobody. This is our core. We ride or die with this team. We're having fun playing ball. That's great. You can win a championship that way. But it only happens, in every level of sports, it only happens like maybe once every 10 years that you get a team like that actually winning a championship.
The Nationals were actually 12 games under 500.
Right.
The year they won the World Series.
Okay.
And they traded away Bryce Harper, I think, either that year or the year before.
Why did they trade Juan Soto then?
Because they knew they weren't going anywhere, which is where we are.
But we're not going to trade Luis Robert.
I'm just saying, like, we don't got to do it now, but if we continue on this path.
Look it.
You got to
TA could go first. I hate to say it. Jimenez and Moncada could go. And Luis Robert stays.
Who wants Moncada?
Hey, shut the fuck up.
There's a team that would.
There's a team that would take Yo-Yo.
That would take Moncada. I think, but you won't get a good haul. You'll probably get like mid-tier prospects out of him, but there's a team that has.
And then he'll turn into a 30-homer, 300 batter.
He absolutely will, and I bet you because it's gonna be because of the coaching staff they got there, because of the fucking trainers they got there. That's why.
So what does that say about us then, and our trainers and our coaching staff?
I got a question.
Yes.
So you said that Luis Robert is an untouchable, right?
He's the only untouchable.
He's the only untouchable.
I'm sorry, him and Cease. That's it.
Him and Dylan Cease.
I like everybody.
Two untouchables.
Two untouchables. Okay. All right. Luis Robert is 25, correct?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. This is where I'm gonna go with this. So if you're Luis Robert, you're 25, you still haven't hit your prime, right? Yep. Given the White Sox history on how long they take to rebuild a team and actually put a good team product in front of you, how many years would they waste of him being in his prime and going away for them to actually build a good team around him?
Probably about the same as the Angels are going to do with Mike Trout.
I was thinking the same thing. Mike Trout.
So in other words, it's not going to happen when Luis Robert is still a White Sox that you couldn't trade him away at higher value because you wanted to keep him because he's untouchable and the team is not going anywhere.
Luis Robert
he deserves better.
He got another 4-year contract extension with the Sox before he goes off to a better team. But, I mean, I don't know him. I'm just saying, hypothetically, players like Luis, I'm pretty sure they'll be happy being the best guy on the bad team.
Okay.
I mean, really, on this bad team, if Luis lives up to his hype, he could be putting up Acuna numbers every single year.
Okay. I just want to CP. You're on the same page too. Would you keep him and waste his career here in the South Side, or would you trade him for the biggest value that you can get from anybody in this squad?
You gotta trade him while he's at his best. Like he's clearly on track for a career year this year. He's literally on track for a 40 homer.
CP, I'm that guy today, but his track history with injuries still lingers. No, because you just said he's on track for a career year. but he's one fucking tweak hamstring, tweak shoulder away from we don't see him till fucking September, and he sucks again.
Oh, we
Those
suck
other years
again.
were different. Like I feel like he got injured like more towards like the beginning of the year. We're already heading towards July, and we haven't like really seen.
He's been injured every year we've had him, besides his rookie that they called him up.
Okay, and he's been healthy so far this year. He already has.
Okay, and we say the same thing about Yohan. We say the same thing about TA. Jimenez is probably the only one. Like, you got a 2-week span, and he's back on the DL.
Just a Debbie Downer. Like, damn, I'm just so negative about everything.
I'm not, man. I'm realistic, man. Hey.
Well, I believe he's on the track for at least a good 44, 45 homer season. So his value is going to be at an all-time high after this year, and that's going to be your best shot to get everything you can for him before, according to John, before he gets injured again.
So you're not moving him at the trade deadline?
No
circumstance.
No circumstance. No, not as a trade deadline. No.
Winter meetings.
Yes, like toward the offseason.
So who would you trade at the trade deadline? I think that was Eric's original question.
It wasn't my original question.
Who would I trade besides Luis Robert?
At the trade deadline, like if you were on this plan of blowing it up, who are your players that you'll trade away?
Jake Berger.
Damn. Yeah, I mean you got to look at.
I mean he could have a little something there.
You could have.
There is something there. I believe with the right hitting coach, I think Berger can put up 30 home runs every year.
Here's the thing: as long as Yohan Moncada is healthy, Yohan will start over Jake no matter what at third base because of the defensive glove. Yohan is the better defensive athlete, but Jake is the more consistent hitter. But you know what's gonna happen? The Sox will fucking plug him in right field. Jake. No, you can't put a Berger in the outfield, bro.
Right, Jake is on the bigger side, ain't he?
Right.
Yeah, he's on the hefty side.
Vaughn is locked in at first. At this point, let Eloy DH only, please. But then that leaves. But then I'm saying that leaves people like Jake Berger, get Gavin Sheets plugging in the outfield, bro. Gavin Sheets another player I'll get rid of. Right pitching coach, the right hitting coach, send his ass.
Yeah, I'm gonna say all those players. I mean, the only ones I would like you said, Luis Robert, Andrew Vaughn. I wouldn't give up on him yet. And
Andrew Vaughn, no.
You signed Benintendi.
You can't because we just let Abreu walk.
Exactly. So you can't let Vaughn go anywhere. Like he's your guy. Like you let Abreu go for a reason. So
the only way I would let Andrew Vaughn go is if you're plugging in Jake at first base.
You would take I prefer Vaughn over Jake Berger.
Oh no, I would prefer Vaughn. I'm just saying that's the only way I'll accept the trade of Andrew Vaughn. Is if we're keeping Jake Berger and then you plug him in at first. Because I mean, at this point, I don't even care if Yasmani gets DH or first base because he's not hitting for shit. Granted, he's slightly hitting better than Zavala, but he ain't throwing nobody out. Zavala at least got a little bit of arm in him. But Yasmani, I mean, if we can get anything for him, which I doubt it, but that's – I mean, really see, Eric, to answer your question, though, it's going to be guys like Sheets, Berger. I'm trying to look at this roster, man.
There's a team in the Chicago on the north side that can use
Does somebody want to take fucking Joe Kelly? Shit.
It's teams out there that's getting nothing from their first baseman. You put Jake Berger somewhere like the Red Sox, he probably goes off. So, hey.
The Cubs. Yeah.
Jake Berger on the Cubs.
We'll give you a burger for Nikki.
I would never eat a burger.
I mean, look, there's a young guy in the Cubs team right now whose name is Christopher Morel, who I feel like it should be in the everyday lineup in my eyes that could take up that second base spot.
You know
perfectly. Definitely.
I'm sorry. Time out. I'm just realizing it. Seeing how the Sox already said they're not going to re-sign Giolito, if he keeps pitching good, he can get shipped at the trade deadline.
He can. I was about to say Giolito's up there too. Michael Kopech as well.
Giolito's been pretty consistent. I was looking at Kopech, but I could see Giolito getting moved first because they already said he's not going to go, and a contending team will trade for Giolito.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, the Yankees need pitching. Astros need pitching. Shit,
The
the Mets
Angels in
look
their
like
hot
the
streak,
Mets
they
look like
could
they
use
need
another
pitching
arm
bench.
in that rotation.
Yeah. Realistically, everybody that's in playoff contention will take another starting
I'm about to
pitcher.
say the Dodgers' whole rotation is injured, isn't it?
Yeah, The
Yeah.
Dodgers rotation. Probably the Braves will take them. The Rangers, who are hot, they can use another arm.
Yeah, and he could easily slide in as the number 3 starter for sure on that team.
Yeah, he's the legit number 3. Anywhere else when he's
Plus,
healthy,
they lost. I think they lost Syndergaard. No, or who did they lose for the year?
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So I mean, he could be useful.
Yeah,
Just saying.
I'm saying, hey,
For who? The
if
Dodgers?
if
Rangers.
the Dodgers
Rangers.
the Dodgers call for TA and Giolito, they gone.
DeGrom is out for the year, right?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, they could definitely use someone like Giolito or even Michael Kopech or somebody like that.
Shit, Seattle too. Don't sleep on Seattle. They can use another
Seattle
arm,
too. That's another scary team out there, up in the Pacific Northwest for sure.
But yeah, realistically, Giolito's probably the most likely pitcher to get traded.
I would say our best trade chip at the moment.
Yeah.
Best trade chips for sure that you guys have, if you're really willing to give up. Obviously, it's Kopech and Giolito, right?
And Jake Berger.
Jake Berger,
with
Eloy
the
Jimenez,
Monsters.
and Tim Anderson. I mean, at Tim Anderson, you get what you can get with Timmy, especially with the situation that he's going on currently.
I feel like it'd be very foul and disrespectful for
To do TA like that,
trade
right?
TA like that. Yep.
Yeah, I don't feel like we should do TA like that.
Look, man,
that's foul.
All I gotta say is
Eric's over, so he don't care.
TA, there ain't no loyalty.
Eric never cared.
it's a business, guys. I get we get really attached to this team or to the players. Trust me, coming from a guy who didn't want Anthony Rizzo to be traded and ended up leaving him anyways, it's just, that one hurt me. Okay,
Come on, fam.
but at the end of the day, it's a business, and if you want to get what you can get from a player, no matter like Tim Anderson right now at the moment, like if you really want to get something out of a guy who's underperforming, I would, because at the end of now you're starting fresh and you don't have anything to worry about.
No, you
But
can't.
I get where you're coming from about the
TA.
disrespect. How they treated him, how he
There
was
ain't
the
no
guy for
loyalty.
so many years, for 7-8 years, however long he's been on the team, doing this, what he does for the community, all this, and just because he has a hiccup of whatever he's going through with his personal life, and then obviously not performing well with injuries in his baseball life. I get it. I get it where it could be very disrespectful on that part, but at the same time, like, y'all gotta understand, it's also business, guys, and it's just you gotta do what you gotta do to make your team better, not only for next year, but for the next 5, 6, 7, 8 years down the road.
You felt that way when it came to
those 5, 6, 7 years.
When it came to Rizzo and Brian and them, you felt that way?
I felt it more with Riz than I did with Chris Bryant and Javi Baez. To me, and I could show you the text message that I had with my brother when he got traded to the Yankees, because my brother's a Yankees fan. And bro, I was heartbroken. I'm not gonna lie, that one hit me more than anything else. I can tell you that much. Because he was the guy. Anthony Rizzo, from the moment they traded him from the Padres, when he came to Chicago, he was that guy, and he took on that mantle and he put it on his back, and he was our present day or our current Cub, Mr. Cub, if that makes any sense, right?
Yeah.
And he was that guy, and that, to me, the way how they treated him, I get the disrespectful part because of how they ended up treating Anthony Rizzo. So I get where you guys are coming from about TA. Trust me, I know.
That's how we felt about Jose.
The JCA Sports Podcast here. We were going to talk Cubs and Sox, but we're just going to keep it Sox right now because these guys had really a lot to talk about because of the current situation that Chicago White Sox are in right now. Whether you either see them on the positive side, like Johnny over here, keeping them at 5.5 games back behind the Minnesota Twins, or on the pessimistic side of CP over here with 13 games under 500. At this point, we don't know what way, I guess you can say, the Chicago White Sox are going to lean into when the trade deadline approaches at the end of the month in July. But just know that it's looking, you want to get it ahead of it before you get that natural dip somewhere after the All-Star break. Let's just say the White Sox lose 6 out of 9 coming out of the All-Star break, and the value is not as high as it is. before the All-Star break. It's just many different scenarios can work their way out of this situation. So, but yeah, you guys are listening and watching the JCA Sports Podcast here on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. We're in the last segment before we head out, and then also give out the toast of the night as well. But the guys, there's news on the Bears that was semi-football related, but not really. My question to you guys: are you happy that the Bears are not on Hard Knocks, John?
Absolutely, man. I feel like, I mean, I'm a little biased. I feel like there's a Hard Knocks. What is it like a Hard Knocks curse, like a Madden curse? And frankly, after seeing what Claypool, that tweet going around of that picture of him being a model and whatever the hell that.
Oh my god.
That hoodie, that brown.
I never wanted them to go out to Hopkins so bad now.
Bro, literally after seeing that, I'm just like, man.
Please call Hopkins.
We don't need no more publicity on the Bears. Frankly, no, man, because we're in a rebuild mode. If you would have asked me, like, would it have been great to see them on Hard Knocks or like the 2018 team? Then absolutely, but nah, frankly, Hard Knocks is fun and all, but I don't care that the Bears aren't on it. I'm not personally hurt about it, but it's like I'm just excited for the Bears to play. To be honest.
Yeah, I really don't want to be in the public eye right now. I want to be one of those teams that comes up out of nowhere like the Lions did last year. Like, I don't want, because I feel like when people shine the spotlight on you, that's when they expect more, and they be like, oh, they got all these pieces, they're on Hard Knocks. We're going to expect them to go like 12-5, 13-4. Like, no, I don't want any. I want to catch people by surprise. Like, yeah, y'all was sleeping on us. Y'all wasn't thinking about us, but, here we are. I don't want to be like the Cowboys on Hard Knocks where the media is just talking about us every single day, even when we're bad. Like it's sickening. You get sick of it. So, like, no, I like that the Bears are never in the public eye, and putting us on Hard Knocks would have just did that even more. So,
hey, I think I need Jose for this one because he's the one that was on that Lions bandwagon last year after watching Hard Knocks, talking about this team is actually really good. I think that's where we kind of need him. I think he would have been excited if the Bears were on Hard Knocks. I've never watched a single episode of Hard Knocks, like not one. Even if it's on HBO Max, I personally do not care. Like
I don't really care for it either.
It's one of those episodes like, oh, okay. I mean, I get it. It's football related, and football runs apparently America and whatnot. But I personally, even if the Bears were on it, I don't think I'll even turn away because why would I be that guy? You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be that guy, even though I love being that guy. But I don't want to be that guy, and I wouldn't watch it even if the Bears were on Hard Knocks, right? That's just my personal preference. But let me be this guy. Let me be John for a second and be this guy real quick. But in a perfect opportunity, if there was any perfect opportunity for the Chicago Bears to be on Hard Knocks, it would actually be this season. Because let's just say that the Bears do make that jump from being this, last place team into a second place team, middle team, whatever, but making that huge jump and seeing the progress of Justin Fields and the offense and so on and so forth, right? They're still on the bump for them to be on Hard Knocks next year because they didn't make the playoffs. I think the requirements are the head coach can't be in his first year, and you don't need to be in the playoffs in the last 2 or 3 seasons. So the Bears will still fit that category. But now that the Bears are going to be this super hot extra team that made that jump, that everybody's like, oh yeah, the Bears are legit, and they're going to be on Hard Knocks next season. I think it just amounts to the pressure of what the Bears are going to, or amounts to the pressure for the Bears next season to be as successful if they were successful this season. So if there's an opportunity to where like, okay, let's enjoy these guys, let's have fun with these guys, let's get to know these guys, let's see what Justin Fields is all about, DJ Moore coming in, all of this new stuff that happened for the Chicago Bears this past offseason, I think for them being on Hard Knocks this year would make more sense than the years to come if they're still eligible for Hard Knocks. I mean, that's just how I see it.
No,
again, I don't care. Right. I wouldn't still have watched it, but I think this would have been a better season for the Bears to be on Hard Knocks than the years to come.
Kind of like to put the league on notice that we coming.
something like that in a way, right?
Right, but I want to catch them by surprise, just like
Yeah, I'm on CP with that one.
But is it really a surprise though? Even if they're not on Hard Knocks, and even the excitement of the Chicago Bears, because everybody's putting on this Chicago Bears team's kind of on this higher rank of them being this next team to make it from worst to first, and Justin Fields with his MVP votes and numbers and so on and so forth, and
I
this
say,
offense is really going to be good.
But it's
Eric,
really
we
just
were 3
us,
and 14.
I get it. No, I understand that. I get that we only won 3 games last year. You don't have to remind me. I've watched all games last season from beginning to end, literally beginning to end, and never missed a minute. But again, it's the excitement of what we saw Justin Fields. What could he be?
But it's more so us, dude. Like I'm saying, like ESPN doesn't even cover us.
Right, we have that excitement.
We're talking about.
I'll be watching it, bro. I watch every morning, bro. They do not speak of her.
What is Mac Jones gonna do in New England? They're still talking about the
Joe
Eagles,
Burrow,
the Chiefs, Joe
Patrick
Burrow,
Mahomes, Josh Allen.
See, you guys watch the shows. I'm more of a reader. And
we watch it.
Bro,
I read a lot of articles, and there's a lot of beat writers nationally wise that are actually putting the Bears in their top 5 of the best teams to improve.
On TV though, they're not covering the Bears though.
The TV's one thing. I'm more and more into the more of the
right,
writers.
but more people are watching the TVs, Eric,
than reading. Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying, guys. The Bears are in top 5 in most people's categories of teams to improve, and it's not going to be catching by surprise.
I mean,
it's going to be more like if the Bears do succeed, everybody's like, "Well, we told you so," type of thing. Because a lot of people that are intel into the football and all the football, is going to be like, "Yeah, we saw this coming because of this."
But it's very easy to improve when a Hall of Fame quarterback has left your division and you only had 3 wins.
That is true.
And you get a legit wide receiver 1.
That is true, and they did give him legitimate good weapons here in Chicago too as well. And speaking of that same Hall of Fame quarterback that left your division, he's also going to be on Hard Knocks because I think that was probably the sexiest pick for the Jets to be on Hard Knocks simply because of that man, Aaron Rodgers. So, I mean, he's not going to be out of the limelight anytime soon from the moment Hard Knocks start all the way to the end of the season because now he's in New York in one of the biggest markets. And I mean, it's not the Jets, but it's still. It's not the Giants, but it's the Jets, and it's still New York at the end of the day.
The Jets are not bigger than the Giants because of their quarterback.
Oh, definitely not. But you give you give New York, you give the name New York behind a team, and it's big automatically. I'm just saying.
I didn't meet not one Jet fan while I was there.
I bet you there's Jets fans now, just like this.
Oh yeah, it is now. You know how that
go. We're gonna hear him. Trust me, we're gonna see him loud and clear, and then we're probably gonna see some Packers fans being some Jets fans.
Yeah, hey, I don't blame them though. I don't blame them. That's been their quarterback for years. You realistically, I mean, how many? If you guys are a Packers fan, how many of them would say they're happy about Jordan Love being the quarterback now? I would jump ship too and go follow Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah,
I'm hearing nice stuff about Jordan Love though. I mean,
I've been reading the good things about Jordan Love too.
Though. But you see what I'm saying though? ESPN will cover Jordan Love before they cover Justin Fields and the Bears.
It's always been this way.
I mean, it's
but it's that way because Aaron Rodgers left. But still, the Bears don't get put on notice. They want to talk about how is Jordan Love going to replace or fill in the shoes of Aaron Rodgers versus, the Bears can really turn around this year. They got a good team. They got Justin Fields, blah, blah, blah. We don't see that.
I think time will tell simply because the Lions are probably the sexiest pick out of everybody coming out of this division, and especially at the end of last season. So
I like it that way.
Let them sleep on us.
Let them sleep on us. I agree with you guys 100%. All right, we're going to end the night with Toast of the Night. Toast of the Night for us, I just started this one. It's basically you give out a toast to anybody, whatever you're drinking. I got sparkling ice from Aldi. You know, shout out to La Wifey over there, to La Girlfriend, to La Laura. For these are actually pretty good. But this is what I'm drinking tonight. So we're gonna give a special accolade to somebody out there, whatever team, sport, whatever the case may be, for the toast of the night. John, do you have one? Who are you toasting for tonight?
Oh, this is easy. This is easy because we didn't mention it, and I'm sorry for the hockey fans, Blackhawks fans. But toast to the Blackhawks, the first pick. NHL draft was tonight. Happy Honor Day, baby. Chicago hockey is back. started
I was
today.
low key going. Yeah,
I took the easy bait through, huh?
damn. That's low key what I was gonna give a toast to. I low key forgot all about that. The pick that was made earlier. Like a lot of fans celebrating.
Absolutely. They got the jersey already pre-ordered. Look at Mikey
They
P in the
say
comments. He knows.
Whose
he's
birthday is
wearing
it?
number 98.
Oh, Bedard Day.
Yeah, 98.
98.
Connor
Okay.
Bedard Day. The future
he's
of
wearing
hockey
98.
is in Chicago, baby.
Yeah. CP, you got anybody?
Yeah, that's who I was going to toast
Yeah,
to.
keeping the same. Keeping the same.
Yeah, the pick.
You're not going to toast to Shohei, man?
Oh yeah, he's been amazing.
10 strikeouts, 2 homers. That's my little league stats, baby.
Future
Oh
Cubs.
my goodness.
Future Cub hit pitcher right there.
You wish.
Free
You
agent.
wish.
It
Yikes.
just depends where he wants to go.
Come on,
as
man.
long as
You
the money
already know
gets thrown, that's all I care.
already know
If the
the
money's
Cubs
there,
are-
if they throw it, I don't care.
Hey,
If he chooses
this
another team
point-
for the same or close around the same amount of money, and the
At
Cubs
this
are like,
point-
all right, whatever, I'm okay
Hey,
with that.
thanks for
Nah.
letting me get him in fantasy. Shit.
the Mets are probably going to open the checkbook for him, man. The Mets, the Padres.
He
Yankees,
deserves
the
so much
Dodgers.
better than the Mets. Oh, please.
He
don't.
does, but they're desperate. They're desperate, and all they
Super
want to do is
desperate.
just buy.
He might be the first $70 million player ever.
I mean, you get 2 for 1 with that one, so you can't really be mad.
Right.
I mean, you're getting a pitcher
Which
and
is
a
why,
hitter
though,
all
you gotta
at
pay him
once.
as a
So,
pitcher and as a hitter.
Yeah.
right, so
He does double duty.
5, 6, 700 million, whatever the case, whatever the money it is for Shohei Ohtani, that I mean, it's worth it because you, like I said, you're paying double for one. So
Yep, 2 for 1 special.
we're watching a unicorn in process, guys. That's all it is.
The Angels
Mikey
are
P says
relevant.
Padres will sign and still not contend in October. So that's what it is. All right, my toast of the night. I'm doing this, and I'm gonna do this right. Declan Rice, welcome to Arsenal, baby. I'm going at him right there. He's a gunner, baby. We got him. 105 million, 138 in American dollars to per se. So, you know,
Who the
we
fuck is that
got the
guy?
guy. We got the guy. So that's what I'm talking for. We're doing it. We got it. And let's just hope that, you know, we don't choke it away like we did last year. Just saying.
Look at who's in the comments. Jose Tony, fake ass. Where you been? For the last
Man,
hour?
I'm tired of seeing that fool. He doesn't even deserve to be on the comments. I'm
Bogus,
going with
bro.
Mikey P with the laughing emoji right there.
Mikey P. Mikey
Mikey
P's
P,
right.
what's up, bro? Hope you're doing well,
Look,
my man.
Click on his Padres comment.
So I already did. I read it already. Padres will
Alright.
sign and
Facts.
still not contend in October.
That's facts, bro.
That's the Padres
Fucking
right there. So
Phony Tony in the comments. Bogus.
nah, he doesn't deserve it. We've been on for an hour and 20 minutes and he decides to show up. I know he damn well gets the notifications that we are live at a certain
Crazy
time,
thing is,
just
though, I
like
texted him
if
at
he follows
7:30.
us.
He left me on red at 8:30 in the morning, bro. Fake.
Damn.
He's the fakest one of them all. You don't trust the guy who cheers for the Cubs and Sox all at the same time. You don't. That's rule number one.
Facts.
He woke up and said, "I'm not." He saw your message. He said, "Oh man,
Bro, he was up already. Man.
Bro,
That's
he's
the
been
crazy
up
part.
since like 10 o'clock last night.
Facts, dude. I've been up since 2 p.m. yesterday.
I've been up since 2 a.m. this morning. And I got to be up in about 6 hours too because I got the same shift again.
There you go.
Yeah, Jose, you're like literally 5 minutes late. Yeah, I slept at 5:30 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He should have been hitting the gym at 5:30. Storytelling, telling me
Ooh.
about that gym life now. All
All right.
good.
Well, this ended up being a Tony bashing time, you know. So this is good. This is a good way to end the show. I enjoy it. I love it. Instead of toast of the night, it was Tony bashing. I'll be there tomorrow. My ass, whatever.
Lying
I don't
ass
believe him.
boy.
I don't believe
I'm
him.
gonna be there.
So
and
thank
I'm
you,
not gonna see
CP. I appreciate you, homie.
Thank you, C.
Thank you very much.
P.
Sepe over here. Johnny P. Johnny P. Man, it's good seeing you. Hopefully you do this again next week.
Eric,
Maybe,
quick, yes,
just
I
maybe.
I can't do it next week. Yes, I can. But real quick, CP, I heard you're not even gonna come in third in fantasy this year. I heard you're gonna come in fourth or fifth.
what makes you think that?"
Because you jinxed yourself on Facebook. That's why.
I'm not worried about it. I'm winning.
We got to get one where all of us are in together just for the shit talking. I want to be in it just for the shit talking. I don't care about the team. I don't care about the record. I want the shit talking to
I
be.
mean, I care about the team.
I'm the 76ers of the damn fantasy league.
Well, as long as you get your money back, right? Because if you come in third, you at least get some type of money back. Unless if
Yeah, you get the money you put in, but that's not what I want to know. I want to be able to talk shit to everybody. Like, yes, like I want, like, no, I literally felt I had the best team.
I know, okay, I get it. I get it.
We all feel that way too.
Okay.
So for CP, Johnny Blasphemy over here, Johnny Parlay. We like to thank everybody. Make sure you guys follow us on all our social media platforms. On our social media platforms. YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, Facebook, tag, all of it. Just follow Star 6 Media and then the John Conavi Facebook page. Make sure you guys hit the little bell to get notified when our shows are all going to be live. Not just our show, only football, 3 Up, 3 Down, all other shows that go live under the Star 6 Media platform. For myself, for Jose, who decided to come in the last 2 minutes of this show, whatever. CP, thank you. Johnny P, thank you. Thank you for Mikey P. Thank you to everybody. Thank you to Zay, who happened up on the comments. We will see you guys next week. Same time, same place. See ya.